2022 Town Board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So I will do my comments after we have a few presentations tonight. Okay. Mr. Tobe, Mr. Donovan, please come up. And our assessor, Kathy Martin. So tonight we have 3 members of our Board of Assessment Review, and only 2 here tonight? Yeah. Okay. And they have spent many years on our Board of Assessment Review, and we wanted to present them with certificates of appreciation. So, Mr. Pantaleo. Thank you, sir. Mr. Tobe, how are you, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you. So these are appreciation certificates from the town board, thanking them for their many years of service on the Board of Assessment Review. Like I've said many times, we have wonderful volunteers in our community, and without them, without the hard work that you do, we couldn't get the job done. So we'd like to thank you for that and present you with these certificates and wish you a very happy retirement of the Board of Assessment Review, and Kathy, you would be able to give that to him, and just to let you know how thankful the community is, and on behalf of all the residents, I thank each of you. And our assessor, Kathy Martin, is here. Kathy, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Jay, Andrew, and Tom for their many years of service. It's a volunteer position, very important position, because the Board of Assessment Review is really personifies checks and balances in government. So we're very grateful to them. They served for many years, 2 decades, and we're going to miss them a lot. So thank you so much for your service.
And also, Mr. Tobe was not only a member of the Board of Assessment Review, but he was also the chairman for many, many years. So we got big shoes to fill, so thank you, sir. Our second presentation tonight is from the Hudson Valley Council Band. Mr. and Mrs. Richards are here. How are you?
Sorry, it takes me a little time to move around.
That's okay.
A few years ago, the Hudson Valley Council Band realized that the town was missing one of our military flags. It took us 1.5 years to search for the right flag, but we are very proud tonight to present to you the Coast Guard flag that the town was missing.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Round of applause, please. Thank you.
The United States government has added another armed services called the Space Force. We are glad to present you probably the first town in Dutchess County to have a Space Force flag.
Wow, thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Richards. Thank you. We will display them proudly.
Thank you.
And our last presentation tonight is for Ms. Victoria Lorenzo. So Ms. Lorenzo is a very accomplished Girl Scout, which I will read a proclamation that we have for her. Whereas Victoria Lorenzo is all about her community, she is always looking for the next opportunity to volunteer her time for the community she has grown up in. Whereas Victoria Lorenzo has been recognized in the past years by the town board for receiving her silver, gold, and gold presidential volunteer awards for the Girl Scouts, and being part of the Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson has been a big part of Victoria's life. She has been with the Girl Scouts from kindergarten to her senior year in high school. She has volunteered her time at the Riverkeeper Sweep at Stony Point Park on the Hudson River, attended Hudson Valley Bridge Builders Camp, the Ronald McDonald House, Dutchess County 1013 Foundation, the NHRC Piggy Bank Bazaar, Days for Girls, Medals Ceremony, volunteers at Valkill and other National Park Services event, East Fishkill's Veterans Luncheon, Second Chance Foods, Inc., Hudson Valley Hot Air Balloon Festival, Special Olympic Cheerers, Brinkerhoff Strawberry Festival, Luna Fest, World Thinking Day at Jefferson Valley Mall, NHRC Spaghetti Dinner, the MRNG Creative Festival at Bethel Woods, the HVBB Workshop at Mirror Lake, and the Greater Fishkill Girl Scouts. Wow, do you sleep? In addition to her volunteer work, she is active in many clubs such as the HORN Northeast, the State Seminar Ambassador, she's a State Seminar Ambassador, the Future Business Leaders of America, the John Jay Ukulele Club, the John Jay History Honor Society, and has made time for guitar lessons. Really? Guitar lessons too? Victoria will be receiving her diploma from John Jay High School with the CTE Pathways in Business Administration and Computer Information Services. Throughout the pandemic, she's held a part-time job. Victoria has excelled volunteering over 300 hours and holding a high average in school. Victoria proves that with hard work and dedication, you can accomplish many great and inspiring things. She is an excellent role model for the youth of our town. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the East Fishkill Town Board is proud to recognize Victoria for her contributions to the town of East Fishkill and commends her for all her impressive accomplishments. Congratulations. Wow, busy young lady, that's for sure. And it's nice to see that. So active. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Nice to see our youth active in our community, right? Yeah. So I have a few announcements before we get started with the meeting. As usual, a very busy month. I started my month out with the Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association dinner. We have these monthly meetings. We discuss all different types of discussions, all the different municipalities are there, all the towns, villages, and the cities in the county. This month we had a guest speaker. It was the Commissioner of the Dutchess County Department of Health and the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Health. They came, gave an overview of the department, what they do, and mainly that's for all the newly elected officials who, you know, they don't know who these people are. They like to meet them, get to know them, and get a little knowing of what goes on at the Department of Health. They had very extensive question and answer period for us all, and I behaved myself. I didn't ask any really disgruntled questions, which many people know. I have sort of a little issues sometimes with the Dutchess County Department of Health, but in saying that, when I was first elected supervisor, I had a joint meeting here at Town Hall with different mayors and supervisors and the then Commissioner of Health, and we had a lot of direct questions for him. All the towns, all municipalities in the county do a tremendous amount of work, and we are under a microscope, and it seems sometimes that we aren't treated as fairly as other, say, private entities. So in saying that, I had a problem with that. So I had a meeting here to discuss that. It wasn't taken very well by the commissioner. Afterwards, he kind of chastised me and said, how can I have a meeting like this and confront him like that? And I quickly reminded him that myself and him and all the people in the room we're elected officials. We work for the people, and so does he. And he has to make sure that his department is there for the people and we're doing the people's work. So after that, I realize I might have a rocky road with the Department of Health, but luckily, our county executive replaced him with a new commissioner. So that new commissioner came, gave a nice presentation, and she's very, very responsive to us. So it was a very good meeting. Dutchess County Mayors and Supervisors Association, I can't speak enough about. I attend all their meetings, and it's a great organization. The East Fishkill Historical Society, they held their annual Strawberry Festival. It was at their main site, the Brinkerhoff House on Kensington Drive. I believe the whole entire town board went, and I think, was the clerk there as well? Clerk, did you go?
No.
No? Oh,
Missed
you
the
didn't?
strawberries and the...
I figured they were
You
giving
didn't
out...
tell me there was food.
They were giving out free food. I figured you'd be there, but there was a great amount of people, though. Probably the largest crowd we've seen in many years. So great to see so many residents out, kids out there taking advantage of our historical society. It's a wonderful, wonderful spot there at the Brinkerhoff House. And I just like to thank our historical society, our historian, Rick Soler. They do a tremendous job. Rick's here actually tonight. Rick, good to see you. And always good. They keep all our historic gems all alive and well, so thank you to them. I've been having many meetings with the Dutchess County CDAC Committee. That is the Community Development Advisory Committee. The county executive placed me on that committee several years ago. And the function of this committee is to recommend grant awards to the Dutchess County executive for the community investment programs. And we also advise the Commissioner of Dutchess County Planning and Development on investment programs, policies, procedures. Anyway, we review APG grants, which is the agency partner grants, CDBG, the community development block grants, and the MIG grants, which is the municipal innovation grants. This round, we were reviewing CDBG applications, and we did make our recommendations to the county executive. There were a lot of applications, and we almost fit all of them in with the budget that the county executive gave us. But very, very good group to work with, made up of many different heads of different organizations throughout Dutchess County, different elected officials as well. We work very well together, and we get a lot accomplished. So just want to let everybody know that. I've been having many meetings with our planner, our grant director, economic development director, about many grants that we are pursuing. The town's master plan, we haven't redone our town master plan. I think it's getting on the 20-year time frame, and we're overdue, obviously. We, the town board, we've done many supplemental reviews. Over the last several years, we did a review on all the industrial properties in town. We did a review of the Route 52 corridor, the Route 82 business corridor, and other hamlets as well. All of those reviews that we did will be implemented into the master plan once we get going with that. So that's part of the process. This is a very costly endeavor to do a master plan to the tune of $300,000 or $400,000. So we are applying for grants to subsidize those costs. Another aspect of the master plan procedure is to come up with a master plan committee. And that's made up of residents, business owners in the town. I will be sending out a message to the residents who would like to volunteer to sit on this committee, and what the time requirements will be, and just a little gist about it so people understand what it involves. I'll advertise on Channel 22, our Gov delivery system, our social media. So if you're interested, please put together a little resume or a little brief paragraph about yourself and why you want to sit on the committee, but we do need volunteers for that, so please keep that in mind. We have been awaiting news from the New York State about our CMAQ Grants Award, which is grants we applied for the roundabouts on Route 82 here in the Hopewell Hamlet. It's for our traffic mitigation plan. I've said this many, many times that our traffic count in the Hopewell Hamlet is reaching 20,000 cars per day. And once it does, New York State Department of Transportation can actually come in and close that middle lane, that suicide lane that we have. We call it the suicide lane because it's not very traffic friendly. But they can actually come in here, close that lane down. If they do, that means nobody can make a left-hand turn into any businesses down that strip. Now, that's going to be disastrous for our businesses. So we've been working together with our engineer, our planner, comptroller, everybody, to try to devise a plan. The last 2 years, we applied for the CMAQ grants for the roundabouts. We got denied, but we keep trying. So I just want everybody to know, I've heard a lot of pushback from some residents on social media about roundabouts. Some people don't like them, maybe they don't understand them, but it's our job as the town board to educate everybody on what they are and the benefits they give. So I will be showing a little on Channel 22, a little benefits video of what the roundabouts, how they work, and what the benefits are to the community. And education's good for everybody, good for me, good for everybody. So I want to give as much information as I can to the residents so they know what's going on. The town board, we're tackling very big issues. The last 5 years, we've done a tremendous job. I can't thank the town board enough, our staff, our professional staff enough. We do a tremendous job. And tonight, right around 4 o'clock, we heard from the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the regional director of the Department of Transportation, Lance McMillan, that they had awards for the where is it? Governor Hochul announced $178 million in funding to support transportation enhancement to 75 communities in New York. And guess what? We got $5 million grant for the Route 82 traffic mitigation plan, which will incorporate the 2 roundabouts, and also $1.7 million in traffic improvements for Route 52 corridor. So that's $6.7 million in grants that we have been working hard to try to acquire. I'm very, very happy. I can't even tell you how happy I am about this. It's going to transform our town in ways that people can't even imagine. It's going to be wonderful. So I'd like to thank our staff again for all your hard work. It's finally come to fruition. We're going to get the grant, so you'll be hearing a lot about this from me in the upcoming months and years. So get ready. We also had a groundbreaking ceremony on Route 52 for our traffic mitigation plan there. Everybody knows we're putting a roundabout right past John Jay High School at the new Patriot Way, which was the old Auditorium Drive. We had a small ceremony. Our town engineer was there, the whole entire town board, the New York State Department of Transportation Regional Director Lance McMillan, the Wappinger Central School District Superintendent Dr. Dwight Bonk. Few residents came out, the press came out, our Channel 22 was there to film it, so if you want to see it, it is on Channel 22. And we just did a little symbolic groundbreaking and give a little gist of what the project is and when it's going to start. It is actually starting, I think, today. It started today?
Well, we started a portion on Patriot Way at the school. We started that about 3 weeks ago, and 52, I believe they were setting up signs and stuff today to get started on 52.
Excellent. So we're hoping for most of it to be completed by the end of November. So we are on track to hit that date. We hope we stick with it. But just so everybody remembers, this is our traffic mitigation plan on Route 52, which includes the roundabout, the new road, the Patriot Way, and also a school drop-off zone that the kids can access on Patriot Way. It's going to be like a drop-off like at the airport when you go drop somebody off, so we could keep the traffic moving. We have a time period in the morning where we have a traffic backup on Route 52, and this will alleviate that. So thank you to all our engineering staff.
I could just say we also have an extensive sidewalk network as a part of this project, so instead of the kids walking on the side of the road to the parking area at the soccer fields, there's going to be a new sidewalk.
Great. So this is part of our $1.79 million grant for Route 52, sidewalks throughout 52 corridor, all the way to Palin Road, correct?
Yes, just about the Palin
Just
Road.
about to Palin. So great news. So thank you all. Councilman Bepan and I attended a ribbon cutting for Mental Health America of Dutchess County. This was in collaboration with the Mark Foundation. They built a small memorial park behind Gold's Gym on Titusville Road, right by the rail trail. It's in remembrance of all those who have died or suffered from substance abuse. And it's a stark reminder of that this illness is alive and well in Dutchess County. And we lose way too many young people. And any awareness we could give to this disease is good. So it's a quiet little park. Somebody could go, gather their thoughts, reflect there. And if you get a chance, please visit. It's right behind Gold's Gym on Titusville Road. And it's good. The more awareness we could get about this terrible disease, the better. So thank you to the Mark Foundation and Mental Health America of Dutchess County for that. We have been having a few meetings, I mentioned before, with the EPA regarding the Hopewell North Water District. As most know, this town board has not been willing to do the final acceptance of the district until the town is satisfied, or pretty much somewhat satisfied, with the warranty that they're offering. The EPA is offering a 5-year warranty for any issues in the system. If you remember, we did have some issues. We had multiple leaks in the system. We had debris in the lines. We had several other problems at the tank and other things. So we were very unhappy with the way this project was going. So we said that we need a warranty in place if we want to take the final acceptance of this. So it's a 5-year warranty, should be sufficient. Our engineers are happy with that. And pretty much that's all we could get out of the federal government. But if we could do more, we would have. So this will enable us to perform our paving project throughout the Hopewell North Water District. I know a lot of people are going to be very happy to hear that. We held off last year to do that because we didn't know how many leaks we were going to discover, and then why should we pave brand new roads and then dig them up just to fix these leaks. So we have a good handle on that now. So we also want to make sure that if we want to accept this, we do want to take final acceptance to this water district, because we do have to mitigate a problem we have with the Pinewood Water District. As everybody knows, I've mentioned this many times, we had a PFOS hit on that water district. It's an older district. It only has one well source. So we are carefully working with New York State and Dutchess County Department of Health on a mitigation plan, which we will finalize soon. So all of this is intertwined with the Hopewell North Water District, Pinewood. We need to help those residents of Pinewood as well with our excess water that we have in that district. So thank you to our engineering staff as well for working very diligently to have a mitigation plan for the residents at Pinewood. And it's been a long time fighting with the EPA and Conti Construction. It has not been an easy journey, but we're almost there, and I will let everybody know when it's finalized. The Chief of Police, myself, Councilman Bepan, we attended a press conference last week up at the Ulster County Sheriff's Office. It was held by Attorney General Letitia James. They had a huge drug ring bust. This was in collaboration with the Dutchess County Drug Task Force, which East Fishkill, we have a member that is on that task force, and many other police agencies. This was a huge victory for them. Like I mentioned earlier, this drug problem, it's a horrible problem. It's alive and well in our county, and we could do whatever we can to try to, exterminate this issue. All these law enforcement professionals, they put their lives on the line undercover to do this work. It's very hard work to try to put these people behind bars. So we have a huge amount of support and gratitude for all the men and women of law enforcement, especially members of the Drug Task Force. So congratulations on this huge victory, and East Fishkill, we're very proud to be part of it. I had a meeting the other night with the Fire Advisory Board, the Fire Board of Commissioners, myself and the town attorney. I like to have these quarterly meetings. Usually it's quarterly, sometimes it's twice a year, every 6 months. But one issue that came up when we were having discussions was reoccurring alarm calls. Sometimes we have these false alarms. Some people might have alarms in their homes. You get these false alarms, and our fire department has to go out there to see what's going on, and there's nothing wrong. Obviously, it was a false alarm. Something's wrong with your alarm. Well, we do have a local law in place about this to deal with this issue. So if you are having problems with your alarm system, that you keep having false alarms, please have it fixed. Because if not, the town is going to have to come out. If you have another alarm call and it's a false alarm, we have these volunteers who give their time to go out to these, and it's really a waste of their time. So if these false alarms keep going on, then the town's going to have to give a summons to the homeowner until they fix the problem, because it's really not fair for the volunteers to go out there when they're needed in many different areas. There's other emergencies in towns that happen. And please remember, our fire district is 100% volunteer, and we're truly blessed to have them. They save the taxpayer a tremendous amount of money, and we do not want to lose that. So please keep that in mind, and if you do want to volunteer your time for the fire district, please do so. It's a great organization. There's many different things to do. You don't only have to be part of Firematic. There's so many other positions you can hold. Call the fire district at 226-1652. Their located headquarters is on Route 52, right by the police station, right by the highway garage. Please go visit them, see if you can help out, because more volunteers we have, the better it is for our tax base. So thank you to all our volunteers. And lastly, unfortunately, I have to mention, we've had a few prominent residents in town leave us this month. Scott Tucker from Stormville. Scott was a buffalo farmer on his family farm, Homestead Farms. Scott had a very interesting profession. He was an underwater commercial diver. He was also a very active member with the Elks Lodge. And if you're from the area, you probably know the Tucker family, a multi-generational family here in Stormville. They owned pretty much all of Stormville at one time. And Scott passed away just this week, and he was a great, great guy. He will be missed. Doug Nestler, he was a lifelong resident. Doug was a veteran with the U.S. Army. Those who remember Doug, he was also very active in our community. He owned and operated Hopewell Easy Storage here in Hopewell and in Wappinger. He was chairman of our East Fishkill Planning Board for 14 years. Member of the Dutchess County Home Builders Association, member of the Southern Dutchess Exchange Club. He was a member of the Dutchess County Resource Recovery Agency, and most of his family still continues to live here in Dutchess County and in East Fishkill. They are also active members of our community, so I just want to acknowledge Doug's passing as well. He will be missed as well. And lastly, Deacon Bill Alvarado from St. Columba Church just passed away 2 days ago. Bill was also a veteran with U.S. Air Force with the Strategic Air Command. Bill became a deacon in 1980 and served at St. Columba under Bishop Dominic. Deacon Bill also assisted the priests at Greenhaven Correctional and Fishkill Correctional for many, many years. He organized pilgrimages to former Yugoslavia. He ran weekend retreats at St. Aloysius. He taught religious education classes from K through 8 at St. Columba. He coached Little League. From 2006 to 2022, he served as an MTA transit and police chaplain working out of District 7 in Beacon. And his time at St. Columba, in addition, he organized the annual Children's Memorial Mass, the annual Divine Mercy Celebration, and he handled all the parish baptismal requests, and he was a certified bereavement facilitator. A real loss for our community. He was a tremendous man, very, very well respected, and he will be missed as well. So that's all I have. With that, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilman Franco.
Present.
Councilman Marinero.
Present.
Councilman Buchanan.
Present.
Supervisor Delisandro.
Present. Thank you. We do have a few public hearings tonight. Our first one, do I have a motion to open a public hearing to consider establishing rules and regulations for food trucks for homeowners association and town property designated by the town?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing now open. So this has come to a head lately. We don't have anything regulating food trucks, and we thought it's appropriate to make sure that our brick and mortar businesses are considered, and also we allow these new businesses, these food trucks, to also operate. We want everybody to be happy, want everybody to make a living. So we did come up with a law, and would the town attorney like to give a little overview of it?
Well, as you have indicated, we have long had a peddler's permit law, and a peddler is someone who moves from place to place selling goods or wares. So that really doesn't fit the definition of our more modern food truck industry. And so the proposed amendments tonight would put the definition into the ordinance, and it would require a permit. And the reason we require permits has multiple reasons for it. Number one is to make sure that the vendor doesn't have a criminal issue, because they're out in the community going around. Number two, that there's proper insurance, and in case of food vehicles, that they have the proper Department of Health approvals for the vehicle. And this law would also limit the number of days per month food trucks can stay in one place. And it provides that they can be in the I-zone districts of the town, which are the rather large industrial districts, have large parking areas, because oftentimes in the past, the vehicles would be in places that didn't have many spaces, and when you had a food truck, it then dislodged people who might be using the business at that site. It also enables them to go to a homeowners association's property at various times during the month. And another unique feature, I think what we're including, is the town board from time to time will adopt a resolution that would authorize the food trucks to utilize town properties. That would be at, say, the park here in Hopewell on evenings when the food vendor for the park is not open and there's going to be a concert or other such event. A food vendor can get permission to come in and be there before the event starts, et cetera. So I think it takes care of a lot of issues that have arisen. I wouldn't say it's perfect yet, because you always have to modify. There may be more modifications, but I think it clarifies a lot of the nonsense of what a peddler is, because we all think of a peddler as moving around, and here we have people staying put for weeks at a time. So in a nutshell, that's what this does.
Excellent. Yeah, it's about time we did this. It's needed now. We don't like to pass laws unless we have to, because they're unnecessary. Why have them? And let's start with the public. Anybody wish to speak for or against providing rules and regulations for food trucks? Please come to the podium. No? Board members, comments, questions?
I just think it's very reasonable.
Yeah, it gives, make sure we protect our brick and mortar, and we give a chance for them to operate their business properly.
And the I-zones are perfect because like the town attorney said, the parking lot, the parking is, it's far more
Parking.
conducive.
Traffic,
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy
ways.
balance between the brick and mortar and, you know, allowing these food trucks in the town. And it's good that we have a formal process now.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's well put together so far, and again, we will revisit this if and when the time comes. It's the beginning of a new law. The food trucks is something new that people want in the community, so it's a great start. Thanks.
Also reduces that gray area where people get all fired up on social media about certain things.
very true.
They'll get fired up on social media no matter what, you know that.
Right. Like I mention all the time, please, if you need correct information, call a town board member. Don't rely on social media. Any other comments or questions? Anybody from the public again wish to speak for or against? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing closed. Do I have a motion to adopt the neg deck in local law?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Law adopted. Second public hearing. Do I have a motion to open a public hearing to consider omnibus zoning amendments?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing now opened. So this one's a little bit more beefy. Town attorney, would you like to review this one?
Sure, as from time to time, the town board's made it a practice of enacting amendments to the zoning ordinance to hopefully streamline requirements and to address issues as they arrive. And tonight, we have one of those laws before us. So the first provision is, there are many times we've been getting more requests when two neighbors want to swap like small pieces of their property, 20,000, 40, you know, up to about 20,000 square feet. Just changing a line doesn't correct or create any new lots, et cetera. This provides for a streamlined process, so they, now, up until this date, they have to go through a whole formal subdivision approval, et cetera. This would streamline it, which makes it easier for many residents. Second part of it, many of you might recall in the last debate about the state budget, a bill was introduced that would require and mandate that accessory dwelling units be permitted in every town in the state, and the very limited terms that the state legislature placed on them. There was a lot of pushback, and the bill was not adopted. It's back in committee, but everybody feels some version of it is going to be coming out. So the town of East Fishkill has had an accessory apartment law on the books since the 1980s, and I don't think it was amended since the 1980s. So what this is an attempt to update our law into what the current standards are within the communities, because our hope is that if the legislature forces the accessory dwelling units, that they will allow the grandfathering and local regulations that already exist. So what this does is it allows an accessory apartment within a single-family home that's owner-occupied. So the owner must live there. It's a very limited issue. It's been in existence. What this law does is requires inspection of the site. It requires a document to be filed with the county clerk so that when the house is sold, the new owner knows that they have to come back and reapply for that accessory unit, because under the old law, we have many instances in the town where houses had an accessory apartment, they were sold, and it's now a two-family situation, the owner's not there. So the whole purpose for this is to assist perhaps an older couple who want to live in a smaller part of the house, get some income out of the large part, but if the owner's there, it's more controlled. So that's the gist of what that part of this would do. Next is, we have cleared up the definition of change in use. Many times, many of the businesses, property owners in the town were upset because if a new tenant was going to come in and the use couldn't be properly classified, they had to go to the planning board and go through a process to have that change of use. This definition will hopefully eliminate most of those applications and allow that decision to be made administratively. Next thing, to lighten the zoning board's agenda, the big discussion is in the town for years, if you're on a corner lot, which is your front yard?
Right.
Okay? This simply says wherever your primary entrance is, that's your front yard.
That's your front yard.
And
Very good.
the zoning board's going to be delighted to have
They're gonna be
this.
very
It'll be
happy.
half their agenda gone. It also, and it modifies the setbacks, so that will keep the perspective and really imposes most of the things that the zoning board over the years has done when they gave variances. We also cleaned up the fence law, the fence part of the zoning law, because again, the zoning board is inundated with requests for height variances, et cetera. So this modifies some of the fences that they can go to 6 feet, which are the common privacy. The next thing that's been weighing down the zoning board's agenda, everybody's getting emergency generators. And emergency generators have caused problems about the side yard setbacks, et cetera. So this sets standards for it, cleans it up, and hopefully will keep people from having to go to the zoning board when every time you want to put in an emergency generator. And the last but not least is one thing that
Drum roll, please.
the town board has discussed several times in the last year and a half, is the chicken law. So many people, we're an agricultural town, Seal has it on it, but in East Fishkill, you could not have chickens unless you had 10 acres or more. So what this does is, and there's more and more of a demand in society to allow chickens. So in certain districts, you have to have at least an acre of land. You're allowed 1 chicken for every 2/10 of an acre that you have, but never to exceed more than 30 chickens. So you do the math, and you get to the 30 chickens. It does, no roosters, so it's a little discriminatory. It does require a permit to be obtained because if you're a responsible chicken owner, You would provide proper shelter for the chickens to accommodate their needs, and when you do that, it requires certain humane spaces and measurements for each and every chicken you might have. And also, the storage of any food would have to be in rodent-proof containers. It can't just be, a sack of feed left out in the lawn. So things that most people will find reasonable, but if you don't spell it out in the law, other people unfortunately take advantage of it. So those are the highlights of it. And obviously, it has penalties if you violate the chicken law.
And meaning that since the last time we did a change to the law where our police officers are now able to enforce our town
Enforce the
code,
chicken law.
we could send them out about
they
the
are.
chickens. So we could send you out for the chickens now, so.
Maybe, in fact, we'll
Enjoy.
designate one as the chicken enforcer.
Enjoy. So does the public have any comments, questions about several different zoning amendments that we have tonight? Nobody? Nothing? No
This isn't
questions?
applied to geese, Bobby, just so you know.
No geese.
Applied to geese.
Sorry.
Town board, questions,
Mr.
comments?
Supervisor,
Yes, sir.
this has to be adjourned because we haven't gotten the comments back from Dutchess County.
Oh, Dutchess
Planning.
County, right, okay, very good. Yes. Right there.
Explain a little further about the generator, what the actual rule is,
Yes.
or where you can have it, or...
Yeah, you gotta have it, you can't have it in the front yard, you gotta have it in the back or side. It can't be more than 3 feet from the side of the house.
Okay.
And not more than 10 feet in from your property.
10 feet from a lot line.
Where can we find that?
It's going to be in the law, it'll be online as soon as it's
Okay.
adopted.
All right,
It's not
thank
going to be adopted probably until July.
All right, thanks.
No, his question counts for yours.
It generated a question.
Oh,
For example, I run my generator in my garage. It's a detached garage and with the door, what I say, in the garage.
Inside.
Well, at the exit, at the garage door open.
is this during a power fade and things like that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
then you don't
This
have
is
to worry.
only for the built-in, the permanent,
Oh, standby generators?
yeah.
Thank you.
Any board members, comments, questions? Pretty self-explanatory. It's going to clean up a lot of issues we have for our zoning board and whatnot, so they will be very happy. This is great. Yep. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing till July?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing adjourned. Thank you. Okay. All right, everybody received the May 26th, 2022 Town Board minutes? And clerk, was there any changes, alterations, modifications? No? Do I have a motion to adopt the May 26, 2022 minutes? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved, thank you. We do have 2 additions to the agenda, which we will do last. One is to authorizing a use of Red Wing Park for a diver, and second is an economic redevelopment special permit for Ashley Furniture. I'll do those last. Courtesy of the floor, anybody in the public, in the audience wish to speak on any general town issues, anything on the agenda, anything at all, please come to the podium. Just state your name, where you live.
Lucio, now this is your time.
Hey, he waits.
He's got paperwork there, I see.
County legislator, how are you?
Good. Good evening, everyone. Just 2 quick items that I thought were important for the public to hear about that's happened at the county level in the past month. The first is for those that have college-bound students or soon-to-be college-bound students, the Dutchess County Community College budget was sent to the legislature this past month. It's a good budget. It's a balanced budget. It includes no increased funding from the county and a modest $75 per semester increase in the tuition for the students. So I think, for all of those college-bound kids, look at Dutchess County Community College as an option. It's a great value, it's a great school, and I think at this price, it's a great opportunity for you to get the education for 2 years, get an associate's degree, and then go on to possibly some higher education. So that budget will be voted on by the full legislature in July, and then presented to the SUNY for final approval. But it looks good this year. And the other one is a quick update on the Learn, Play, Create grant program. So they've just announced the recipients for the first part of the year, and we've got 4 organizations in East Fishkill that have gotten a total of $61,000.
Nice.
So that's great. And I'll just name them quickly so you can get an idea of the kind of organizations. It's the Boy Scout Troop 3040. There's a Girl Scout Troop 10072. They serve both East Fishkill and Wappingers, but I'm going to take credit for that one. The Farm Chef Project, and our one and only Hudson Valley Council Band.
Oh, excellent.
They also received a recipient of some money from that. So these organizations are thrilled to get the support. Again, this grant program was to provide some funding for these organizations that weren't able to fundraise maybe over the past couple of years and have some needs for some either equipment, supplies, or some other things to support the youth in our community. So great program.
So aren't they extending that program?
So, well, it was $3 million last year, and we did another $1.5 million. We, the legislature, approved another $1.5 million for 2022. And in 2022, what we did was we split it into 2 phases. So for the first half, applications were submitted in the January-February timeframe, and the recipients from that first application period were just announced over the past week or 2. There'll be a second application period opening up in July.
Okay.
And I'm going to provide some information that we can put on 22 around the 1st of July.
Excellent.
So that we can, any organizations that, need more information, we'll get you some on 22. And then there'll be a second wave, if you will, that'll open up in July. And I assume those would probably be announced later, like September, October timeframe, after they receive them. So still an opportunity.
Just maybe you could find out for me, so save me a call up to the county.
Okay.
Our library district is looking to do an interconnection with us to our sewer. And we're going to help them, obviously, but if there's some county dollars that can help, this is probably a $150,000 project. The town board, I've discussed briefly with them. We haven't got much details yet, but we said we would assist the library. But if you could find some funds for the library, that would be wonderful, too.
All right, it's not in the Learn, Play, Create. 'cause we're
Yes,
focused-
that I know, that I
We're in the
know.
youth for that, but although it is the
But they
library.
had others for libraries and other, for infrastructure, didn't they?
And I think you already received some
Okay.
money for the library. I forget exactly what it was, but I'll see if there can be some
All right, great.
dollars.
Thank you, county legislator.
Anyway, that's my update for the month. Thank
Okay,
you.
wait, one other thing, since I have you up there.
Okay?
So East Fishkill, we did contact Dutchess County Real Property about a parcel of property on Route 52 that was in the rears for taxes.
Yes.
And when there's a property in rears of taxes, the municipality where it sits has the first right to gain that ownership of that property. We would pay back the taxes. We had a resolution several months ago for that parcel on Route 52 on the corner of 52 and Taconic Parkway. And I was wondering if that got approved.
Well, the good news is your check cleared. Didn't bounce.
Excellent.
So
Our
we did
checks don't
receive-
bounce.
We did receive your check, and we had a resolution this past month in June that officially gave you that property. So I
Excellent.
think there's some additional paperwork that probably will go through the town clerk's office, but we did pass a resolution to transfer that property to you.
That's wonderful news. And just so the public knows, this is a parcel of property on Route 52. We had a resolution several months ago to purchase it from the county for back taxes. And it's a large parcel on the corner of 52 and Taconic Parkway. And the town board is going to put together a plan to put a year-round farmer's market there.
Right.
So,
I know that property not a lot of the land is usable, but
Yeah, it's
as it
wetlands.
is right now, there was a structure there that obstructed the view.
Yes.
As you came out of one of the local roads. So it's great to turn that over to the town to clean
Remove
up
that
property.
structure.
And,
Yes.
yeah, benefits everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, County
All
Legislator.
right, thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak on general town issues? Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
How are you?
All right, pretty good. I want to first thank the whole board of East Fishkill, the town police, the highway department, the rec department, how great of a job you guys doing in East Fishkill. This is my town. I've been here 37 years, so they're doing a great job, everybody.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I want to see that new project across the street. I was following you guys on TV. It's my first time back to the meeting, so I'm back, so I'm going to start coming. So everything is so far so good.
Excellent.
So keep up the good work, you guys yourself, and hopefully everything goes good in East Fishkill. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the comments. Thank you.
You're up, Bobby.
Now we'll start our resolutions. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening. I guess he doesn't have any problems with speeding where he lives. But, huh?
Speeding?
Well,
Speeding.
maybe you should move to his neighborhood. Talk to him. Maybe there's a house over there.
Nick, I'm wondering if, listen, I know these guys are stretched thin, and I know that they got to answer other calls, and, you know, but maybe they could coordinate with the state police or the sheriffs, because really the speeding is getting out of hand. Then you got these cars, again, I'm going to complain about the noise. It sounds like they got boom boxes in there. They come through your neighborhood late at night, early in the morning. They got tinted windows. You can't even identify who's who. And really, something needs to be done. It's really getting out of hand. I don't know if they could coordinate with the sheriffs or with the state police or whatever. But I don't know. Am I the only one that complains about speeding and you know, and the other nonsense?
Yes.
Huh? I am.
No, we get some isolated incidences
Maybe-
in some constituents and some roads.
Maybe you could put that radar cart back there, Chief.
Chief, we've been out there before with traffic speed details, right? So
No, I'm not-
I hate to mention this, but, and I'm going back on my word that when we talk about, when we interview police officers about not giving residents summons, but I think it's time we might have to give some summons out.
I'm not even, Nick, I'm not even saying about giving summonses. They could get a
Well,
couple of...
I think that's maybe
That's-
the only
that's
way
the
they're going to
first
learn,
Well,
Bob.
they could get a couple of warnings. I mean, for all I care, I don't, you know, the point of the matter is that the same people every day that feel like they could do what they want. I don't, when I come to a stop sign, I got to stop. These, might as well take the signs down. These people just go through the first one, second one, third one. It's like a raceway. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'll discuss it with the chief.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
And that's in Stormville, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else wish to speak on any general town issues, on any agenda items? Nothing? Okay. We have nothing for receipt and file. Resolutions. The first we will table. Number 2, Councilman Bepan?
Yeah. Appointing police officer. Whereas the town police chief has interviewed one candidate eligible from civil service list for appointment as a full-time police officer in the town of East Fishkill. The town board has also interviewed the candidate recommended by the town police chief. Now therefore be it resolved that Brennan A. Froud be hired in accordance with the existing collective bargaining agreement and is hereby appointed to the position of police officer for the town of East Fishkill.
Excellent, thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to appoint Mr. Froud as an East Fishkill police officer?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? So we have a few openings in our police department currently. Our chief is currently looking for other candidates as well, which we will fill. But tonight, we do have a young man here who, Mr. Brendan Froud, who will fill the position very, very easily. Any comments or questions? No? I have a motion and a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations. All right, excellent. Yes, sir, Chief. Now, Officer Froud, what I said about giving summonses, Hillside Lake only, Hillside Lake only.
Congratulations.
Excellent. Very good, excellent. Is that your father? Thank you for your service too, sir. Thank you. Okay, number three, I'm sorry, Councilman VPN again.
Appointing police assistant, whereas the chief of police and the town board has interviewed one candidate recommended by the town police chief for the position of police assistant. Now therefore be it resolved that Nelson Fernandez be hired under the CSEA agreement and hereby appointed as police assistant in the police department.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to appoint Mr. Fernandez as our police assistant?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We are in need of more, so if anybody wants to apply, please come forward for police assistance. But we have a great young man, Nelson Fernandez. He does a tremendous amount of volunteer work in our town, and he's going to be a great addition to our police department. Any other comments or questions from the board?
I second your comments. He's been a phenomenal asset and volunteer with the fire district, and I think he'll be a great fit for you, chief.
Absolutely. Okay, I have a motion and a second, right? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations. Number 4, Councilman Franco?
Sure, emerging contaminants mitigation for project? Yeah. Whereas the town of East Fishkill has determined that several water sources located throughout the town have been impacted by emerging contaminants, and the town is in need for water sources. The town of East Fishkill studied over 30 alternatives for providing reliable water sources to the various water districts and determined that the proposed multi-district interconnection and other new improvements to best meet water source needs. The project proposed an interconnection between Beekman Water District and Hopewell North. The project will include interconnection between Beekman Water District and Four Corners Water District. The project will include interconnection between Hopewell North Water District and Pinewood Knolls Water District. To facilitate the proposed project, the town is seeking funding through the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. And to further facilitate the proposed project, the town is seeking grant through Water Infrastructure Improvement Act. A full environmental assessment form has been filed. The town of East Fishkill Board has required 6 NYCRR to initiate the State Environmental Review Act for proposed project. The action involves one or more other involved agencies, and the town conducted a coordinated review under SECRA, circulating the EAF along with a notice declaring its intent to serve as lead agency to involved agencies.
Thank you, Councilman. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's good, that's good.
So do I have a motion to declare lead agency for the emerging contaminants mitigation project?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So as I mentioned in my comments, we are trying to implement mitigation plans for the PFOA and PFOS. Those are the emerging contaminants that are forever chemicals in our water. And they're very bad chemicals. They don't go away. You filter it. We could do some filtering with active carbon, but besides that, diluting the water, mixing the water does not work. It's a forever chemical, very bad stuff. New York State 2 years ago made it mandatory for us to do the testing on these contaminants, and rightly so. And now we did have several districts. We had a hit at our Hopewell Hamlet wells, which we shut down, and Pinewood now, and also Worley Homes, which we already mitigated. We did an emergency connection with the county, And we are also moving forward with our full plan with connection to Revere Park and Brett View and...
And we're off the county now.
And we're off the county now, excellent, even better. So we have had very good success with New York State Facilities Corporation with the grants. In our WIA grant, we had an award for Worley Homes for Hopewell West Water District, so we're going to try it again. It's important to get this done. These are very important projects. Traffic is important, yes, but these are important. We drink water. Everybody, your children drink water, so we need to make sure that it's clean and safe, and that's one of our top priorities. So I'm very happy to see this move forward. And our engineering staff has been on top of it, doing an excellent job. Scott Bryant, George Cronk, excellent job, you guys, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. Any other comments or questions? No? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. All right, number 5, Councilman Marinaro?
Designating an emergency chain of command, whereas it is necessary for the town to be able to function in case of any type of emergency or tragedy that may occur. Whereas it is the desire of the town board to designate in advance an emergency chain of command. Now therefore be it resolved that in the event of an emergency, the town supervisor shall be the responsible party. In his absence, the deputy supervisor, and in the absence of a deputy supervisor and the deputy supervisor, the town clerk shall be the designated official in charge for emergency purposes.
Okay, do I have a motion to designate an emergency chain of command?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I should say update. So we do this every several years. It's needed for an update every several years. And actually, it's going to work in coordination with the hazard mitigation plan that we have. I had a meeting with Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association with Dutchess County Emergency Services, and they discussed about we have to renew our hazard mitigation plan. And one of the first components of that is to issue the emergency chain of command if you don't have one, and update it. That's what we're doing now. So hopefully the county will be preparing the hazard mitigation plan, which will save us some money. They did that last time. However, I remember I was a town councilman. We did it before the county did it. So we were ahead of the curve as usual in East Fishkill. But hopefully this time with the update to the hazard mitigation plan, the county will pay. So any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, number 6, Councilman Franco?
Establishing water rates for town water and sewer districts. Whereas the town board has authorized the acceptance of public water and sewer districts in the town charges a premium for excessive water usage, typically during the summer months. It is necessary to reduce water usage to take the strain off our water supply. It is necessary to set aside any revenue generated to identify and develop additional water sources for long-term sustainability. Whereas it is necessary for the town board to formally set the premium water rates in said districts. Now therefore be it resolved that the base water rates for the water districts are not changing, only the premium rates will be adjusted as per attached schedule. And these rates will take effect third billing period of 2022 on or about July 16th, 2022.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to establish the water rates for town water and sewer districts for excessive water usage?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So that's exactly what it is, for excessive water usage. So in certain water districts, there's always an issue with something, right? But excessive use when we're talking about irrigation. A lot of developments do not have secondary lines for just irrigation. They're using the potable water for irrigation, which we do not allow any longer. The town inherited developments where they already had this established, so we had no choice but to accept it. So in order to maintain to reduce the water usage, this is what we're going to have to do to increase the fees for the excessive water usage. Any comments or questions from the board? Any comments?
The only thing is we'd hope, like, people set their clock and the sprinklers run, whether it's rain or shine. We're hoping by.
Yeah, I've driven through and seen the sprinklers on and it's raining.
People turn their light switch off when they leave a room.
Right.
If they don't use the light, we're hoping that if they don't need the irrigation, they don't use it. So hopefully this will steer people in that direction, be more mindful of the water they use in
Right.
irrigation. Not that they can't irrigate, but be more mindful of it.
We hope, that's what we hope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. Number 7, Councilman Marinaro.
Schedule a public hearing to make a 4-year term and term limits applicable to all town officials. It is the desire of the town board to hold a public hearing to make a 4-year term and term limits for all town officials. That the town board does hereby schedule a public hearing to be held at its regular town board meeting of July 28, 2022 at 7 p.m. Be it therefore resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is authorized to advertise notice of said public hearing.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So the public hearing will be July 28th. If there's any comments or questions about making 4-year terms for all of our elected officials and term limits included, please come out to that public hearing. Otherwise, we will adopt the law for this to be placed on the ballot in November. The residents will have to vote on this. This does not get decided by the town board. And we all have, the town board has limits and term limits and a 4-year term. All of us have the same, but not all the offices do for public officials for East Fishkill. So we want to make everybody have a 4-year term and term limits as well. So you can have your discussion or comments at the public hearing. Any other comments or questions? No, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 8, Councilman Bepan.
Authorizing the refund of a recreation fee, whereas Grape Hollow subdivision was approved in July of 2011. The recreation fee of $60,000 was paid. The approval was extended and expired July 19, 2021. On December 4th, 2012, the approval was reduced by 1 lot because of New York NYC DP. The applicant is requesting the return of the recreation fee since the subdivision was never filed. Now therefore be it resolved that the refund of $55,000 recreation fee be and hereby is authorized to be made by the town supervisor.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize a refund?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So this was a development that did not get approval, I guess? Didn't get final approval?
Oh, no, it got final approval, was subject to New York City DEP approval, so they had some problem with that, and it went into COVID and the extensions, and they just can't do it. It's a very,
Never got their site plan.
they never had the map signed, and back then, the rec fees were collected as soon as you got approval from the
Okay.
planning board. When the correct way under the town law is that the rec fees are paid when the mass release to be recorded, so.
Can we change that?
Not now, for this.
No, not right now, but we can change that?
No.
No? Because, we have a new park to build.
Yeah.
And we need the recreation funds to pay for the park.
If you would start by lowering the temperature and saving some money on the air conditioning. He's cold.
Yeah, you have better blood. Cold.
Oh, man.
Town clerk, you want to lower the temperature, please?
The lights up there, the heat.
Yeah, we're sweating up here. Bullets.
Take a piece of rotisserie chicken?
You like the chicken coop over there?
55.
So, all right, well. It's, obviously, it's fair to do the refund, but that's, our rec fund needs the money. But all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 9, Councilman Franco.
Authorize stipend for planning and zoning board members. Whereas the town board has reviewed the stipends that the planning and zoning board members currently receive, based on their duties and commitment to said boards, the town board has determined to increase the member's stipend. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning and zoning board chairperson will receive a stipend of $3,500 a year, and the planning and zoning board members will each receive a stipend of $2,500 a year, and must attend at least 90% of all meetings for the year to receive their stipend.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the stipend for planning and zoning?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So it's hard to find volunteers, like we said earlier, but also the key point of this resolution is that they have to attend 90% of the meetings. Otherwise, they don't get the stipend. So that's been problematic for us. So we are trying to be creative here.
And I think it's only fair to the members to point out that the planning board members, they just don't attend the meetings, but there's a large volume of material that they have to read through and prepare to be able to attend it, so.
Volumes of
Volumes.
material.
Yeah, they do a bit of traveling around town too, right?
Yeah, they also do that. Visit sites and, absolutely. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 10, Councilman Marinero?
Receiving applications from Blue Water Realty for Superdome property.
Hold on.
Is that number 10? Revised.
Revised, yeah.
I don't know if I got that.
Number 10 revised.
It's got red print. Stop.
Yeah. Receiving application from KVM Hudson Valley Logistics, owner LLC. Blue Water Realty has submitted an application for an economic redevelopment special permit under law 194-46.7 of the zoning law with respect to the property formerly known as Sports Dome property on Route 52. Also submitted was an environmental assessment form and a project summary for the proposed project. The town board acknowledged receipt of the application, and the town planner is authorized to notify interested and involved agency of the town board intent to become lead agency under secret, and be it further resolved that the town professional staff is authorized to take such other steps that are necessary to advance said application.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to circulate intent for lead agency for the Hudson Valley Logistics Center?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So, the time has come, the dome is going to be no longer on Route 52. The property has been sold, and the new owners are going to be putting a logistics center there. So, that's it. We're just going to circulate for lead agency to start this project off, and hopefully that we don't know who the end user is yet. They will be coming to the town board, planning board with their full applications, and they have submitted their applications, but to give their full review to the town board and to the planning board. So be ready for that. It's going to be busy. Any comments or questions? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. We have two additions to the agenda. First is the authorized use of Red Wing Park. Zednik Ullman of Marine Diving Service has made his request to utilize Red Wing Park. He wants to dive in Red Wing Park. Obviously, it's going to be in off hours and when the park is not used by the public, or when camp goes or anything else like that. But he wants to do this for, not for teaching, just for himself.
It would be for himself and possibly
Oh,
teaching.
possibly also to teach. So the agreement is attached. He has all of his insurance that we require, and the times are stipulated when he can go. Do I have a motion to authorize the Red Wing Park?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
I mean, this is something that we
Happy.
were aware for a couple of years now.
Yeah, he's been coming in the wrong times and asking, and then we told him he's got to come earlier because, we get busy then. So
And this is just for this season?
Yes.
Yes, every year.
Yeah, every year he's got to reapply. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. The second is granting economic development special permit for Ashley Furniture. The site plan application has been filed for the above property, construction of a 250,000 square foot warehouse. This will be at iPark, interior in iPark. The planning board has adopted a negative declaration for the project, and pursuant to zoning laws, economic redevelopment special permit is granted for the above site in accordance with the plan submitted to the planning board. On last Tuesday, the planning board had their meeting and adopted a negative declaration for this project, so the next step for them is to gain a economic development special permit from the town board. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you very, very much. And that's it for them. No budget transfer tonight. Comments. Let's start with our highway superintendent. How are you tonight, sir?
I am good. How are you doing,
Yes?
Mr. Supervisor?
Very good, thank you.
All right, first of all, I'd like to start off thanking our East Fishkill Fire District for their generous donation of an out-of-service ambulance. The Highway Department is in the process of converting the ambulance into a Mason carpentry truck. We are very thankful for the donation, and we will put the vehicle into good use. Also, we have been doing substantial and much-needed pipe replacement and catch basin repairs in several areas. This month, we have worked on Rushmore Road, Nanook Road, Long Hill, Zerner Boulevard, Louise Lane, Creamery Road, Old Peckslip Road, and Dogwood Road. It's been a very busy, any of these areas that we've been doing this work is all, the pipes are, they're rotting out, so that's why we're replacing them as they go. Our patch crew has been...
Replace it with plastic?
Yes, no more metal. Our patch crew has been filling the post pipe replacement road cuts from the completed pipe replacements. The crew has also been trying to keep up with patching the potholes as they arise. We are aware that some areas that are still in need of repair from water main breaks, our contractors are working to get those repairs completed as well. We have been trying to get out as much as possible with the jet vector. We have had a couple breakdowns with it, but we, fortunately, it should be running next week, yes.
Isn't that new?
And no, that thing's 06, I think it is, 2006.
Only kidding.
Also, we've been out with the Great All, repairing shoulders on Long Hill, Ritter, Rock Ledge, Hillside Lake, May Crescent, Shenandoah, Stormville Mountain Road. Paving season is also well underway. We have paved May Crescent, Pleasant Hill, Hidden Acres, McDonald Lane, Stormville Mountain Road, a small section of Old Sylvan Lake Road, and also a section on King Road that was much needed.
Hidden Acres.
Hidden Acres. That's it for me for this
That's
this
it?
month. Yeah, it's been busy.
Some of those catch basins on Zerner over there was a couple of years that we needed to take care of that, so
Yeah,
those people are gonna be very happy.
happy over there. Much needed.
There was some floods back there.
Chief, how are you?
Making me look bad.
How's that?
Chief, you should be happy, you got a new officer.
I have a few things we could discuss, but I just want everyone in this town to know how much support and help and guidance that I get from the town board. And my past 2.5 years as chief of police have been fulfilling, and I plan on, with your acceptance, I plan on being here for a while yet, and I just want to thank you for your continued support. It makes a huge difference. There are so many individuals out there who are running governments, and they are a disaster, and it is very impressive to sit here and watch you all work. You too, Peter. Appreciate all your help. I mean that sincerely. That's it for
You
tonight.
guys are,
And thank you, Chief.
you guys are good to work
Appreciate that.
with, that's for sure, to work with. I agree, Chief.
Town clerk?
I'd like to say I got a lot of support out of the board up here too, but all they do is throw work at me at 4 o'clock.
You wanted a job, pal.
A lot going on. I'd just like to thank my office staff Because like today, they were throwing stuff at me, it's still at 4 o'clock to get on the agenda, but they pulled it together, we got it done. And also, thanks to all the other people in the departments in this building, because they really got everybody's back. They're really a good group of people, and even the chief helped me out. I call him up, I send him a text, he sends somebody over, takes the paperwork back, and gets those peddlers permits filled out. And just a reminder, now that the law is passed, the peddlers permits will start coming in, chief, and be ready. Because we actually have 0 peddlers permits active in the town right now. So,
Get ready.
get ready, they're coming.
All right, Councilman Pepan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
As always, thank you to all of our emergency services, our town employees, highway department. Kenny, you guys are awesome. Chief, thank you guys so much for everything you do. Welcome to our new officer. I trust that, he will serve our town well. And we're looking forward to the continued growth in the department too over the coming months. I'd like to thank the supervisor and the town board for allowing me to represent them at the Daisy Troop 10302 bridging ceremony at Fishkill Plains. It was a nice afternoon awarding all the young girls on their achievements for daisies this year. Also, a huge shout out to our town historian. The Strawberry Festival was awesome. Great job over there. The Historical Society, if you haven't been there, it's on Kensington Drive. You have to check it out. It's quite amazing. And my last point is the supervisor, the chief, and I attended a press conference for a drug and gun bust up in Ulster County, but that actually included quite a bit of our local area, not necessarily our town, but in the local area itself. I'm approaching my 10-year high school reunion, and it's kind of crazy to think.
Oh, boy.
It's crazy to think how many...
Gray hair's next.
Yeah, right?
That was salt in a wound, wasn't it?
How many people are no longer with us because of the opioid crisis happening in our area? So, any amount of these drugs and people that traffic them taking off the streets, it's a big deal. And I really commend the work of our officer that's involved in the drug task force and the DA's office and the Attorney General's office for everything they did with this one takedown, because it was quite significant. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Marinaro, how are you?
So, very well, thanks. The Red Wing Park is opened, and everything is working smoothly over there. When the weather is hot, there is a great attendance. So far, so good. As far as the soccer, there was a Memorial Day soccer tournament, very well attended, even though the weather was not cooperative, but we had thousands of people that came out from different areas of the state, and everybody was pleased. I mean, you overhear their comments of the way the fields were taken care of. So it was a great turnout, and everybody was happy for the results of that tournament. We are working on some small projects. We are working with the different leagues, always to upgrade some of the complex, and that's an ongoing process. So far, so good. Great cooperation all around.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco.
Kenny, great job as always. The highway superintendent has been blowing up my phone the last few weeks, showing me pictures, sending me all kinds of pics of the men and women in his crew working. And I know he forgot to mention, and this is really big on the paving end, Creamery Road, which has been just, people have been dying for that road to be paved. That's scheduled for July 15th, correct?
The reclamation right now tentatively is scheduled for July 15th.
Of 2022, right? Want to make that clear.
The town engineer and I have been working with Intercounty, started lowering the valve boxes last week, so it is in the works.
That's a long time coming, and I've talked to a couple of residents, and they're thrilled, so
Yes.
continue the good work. Thank you.
Dogwood as well.
And Dogwood, correct. That's afterwards, right? Okay. July 27th at Red Wing from 12 to 4, we're bringing back our Day at the Beach that the supervisor and I had come up with 4 years ago. And I think the last 2 years, because of COVID, we've had to cancel it. This is an absolutely amazing event. We bring in kids from all over the county who have special needs, and we give them an opportunity and their families to be on our beach at Red Wing Lake, and it's really, really wonderful to see. The families are absolutely amazing, and we've been able to get a lot of donations and make our parks a little bit more accessible, especially for these children and for these families. So July 27th, 12 to 4, there's some sponsors that are available. If people want to come by and stop by and make a donation, that's great. Or just have a little booth if you want to play music for the kids. That'd be even better. And one last thing, I just want to congratulate our clerk, Pete Cassidy, on the great job he did on the Backyard Olympics. How much money did you raise?
$17,000.
Wow. Great job. For those who don't know, this man raises so much money for charity and just sits there and he never takes any credit for anything. So I really applaud him. Great job, Pete.
Thanks.
He didn't play too well, though, I saw.
Well, he had
From what I saw.
couple of adult beverages.
Oh, that's Thank you, Councilman. Our next town board meeting is July 28, 2022, and I just want to mention, just say enjoy your weekends, enjoy your time off, enjoy our town. We have a great community, great people who live here. We live in a wonderful area in the country, our state, and help one another. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. If we can't do that, then why are we here? And, I went to an event once, and there was a veteran speaking about how great he loves to live in this country, and we have a lot of issues, we have a lot of problems, of course we do, all countries do, right? And he says, but in the U.S., it's a little more special than other countries, and even though we have all these problems and these issues, when you are born an American or you live in the United States, you hit the lottery. So enjoy and be safe, everyone. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
She was a seaside sitting, just smoking and drinking on ringside, on top of the world, oh yeah. She had a drink in her hand, she had her toes in the sand, oh wow, what a beautiful girl, ah yeah. One sweet black night with a little bit of ice and coming your head around. Bitch from the sea with the looks to me like she liked to fool around. What a snappy little man. Keep a happy and accompany me to the ends of the earth. Ah, yeah. That's why I said, here I am, they know, man of the world. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girls. Come on. Well, I'm a bum in the sun and I'm having fun, and I know you know I got no special plan. All the bills are paid, I got 'em made in the shade.